There's something 99% of men will never understand, a hidden trigger that makes a woman deeply attracted to a man. Not his looks, not his money, not his status, just one psychological shift that changes everything. If you ignore this, you'll stay stuck, chasing, begging, wondering why she always loses interest. Here's the truth. Women don't fall for what you do. They fall for how you make them feel. And when you master that feeling, she won't just like you. She'll obsess over you, chase you, fight for your attention. This isn't manipulation. This is human nature. Deep, primal wiring that most men never tap into. So pay close attention, because what you're about to learn will change everything. Let's start with something fundamental. When a woman feels truly seen by you, not just noticed, not just acknowledged, but understood at a level that goes beyond words, something shifts in her perception of you. It's not about flattery, it's not about scripted routines, it's about a profound psychological truth. People crave recognition not of their surface, but of their essence. Most men are distracted. They're scanning the room, half listening, formulating their next response while she's still speaking. Physically present, emotionally absent. Women feel that. They sense when a man's attention is transactional rather than real. But when you lock in, when you give her the rare gift of your undivided presence, you communicate something extraordinary. You matter. What you say matters. Who you are matters. This is where it starts, with real eye contact. Not a creepy stare, but the kind that says, "I'm here with you, fully." It bypasses words and creates a direct line to emotion. It communicates stability, sincerity, and strength. Then comes real listening, not waiting for your turn to speak, but listening to understand. Hearing the nuances in her voice, the pauses between her words, the things she isn't saying outright. When you reflect those things back, when you ask the right questions, you validate her in a way few others ever do. But here's the critical part. This isn't a tactic. If you approach it as a trick, she'll sense it, and the connection will crumble. Authenticity is everything. You have to genuinely care. You have to step outside your own ego and enter her world. That's the difference between a man who leaves a lasting impression and one who fades into the background. When you make a woman feel truly seen, you tap into one of her deepest desires, the need to be chosen, not for her looks, not for what she can do for you, but for who she is. That's the intoxicating feeling. Most men want her, few truly value her, and when you demonstrate that you do, through your attention, your presence, your willingness to engage with her mind and soul, you become irreplaceable. Attraction isn't built in grand gestures, it's built in micro moments. The way you lean in when she speaks, the way you remember small details she mentioned, the way you make her feel like the most important person in the room without saying a single word. Those moments accumulate. They create a narrative in her mind. This man is different. This man sees me. And once that narrative takes hold, nothing can shake it. Now let's address something equally fundamental. People desire what they have to pursue. When something is too easily obtained, the brain assigns it less value. When effort is required, when there's mystery, when the outcome isn't guaranteed, that's when desire intensifies. Most men make a critical mistake. They believe that by being overly available, responding to every text instantly, showering a woman with attention before she's earned it, they're proving their worth. But the more you try to prove yourself through constant availability, the less valuable you become. You've removed the chase. You've eliminated the very thing that makes attraction exciting. This isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about having a life so full and purpose-driven that you don't need her validation to feel complete. A man who is always available is a man without mission, without depth. Women intuitively recognize this. They're drawn to men who are moving toward something, men who aren't waiting around for a text back, men who understand that their time and attention are valuable. Think of it in terms of basic economics. Scarcity increases value. If you're always on demand, you've made yourself a commodity, not a prize. But when you're selective with your attention, engaged in your own growth, not afraid to let her wonder about you, that's when she starts to invest. That's when she starts to chase. The art lies in balance, being engaged but not desperate, interested but not obsessed, present enough that she knows you care, absent enough that she misses you. When a woman has to wonder about you, does he like me? What is he thinking? Her mind starts working in your favor. She begins to invest emotionally. She replays your interactions, analyzes your words, looks for signs. And the more mental energy she spends on you, the more attached she becomes. But remember, the chase only works if you're actually worth chasing. If you're stagnant, predictable, not growing, why would she chase? The chase only works when you're moving forward. Here's what most men miss. Attraction isn't about what you say, it's about what you are. Are you a man on a mission? Do you command respect, not by demanding it, but by embodying it? Are you living in a way that makes her want to be part of your world? That's the real chase. Not games, but being so focused on your own path that she has to step up to join you. And the chase never really ends. Even in a committed relationship, attraction is maintained through continued mystery, through the sense that there's always more to discover about you. If you become complacent, if you stop growing, if you think you've won her and no longer need to challenge yourself, that's when the spark fades. The chase isn't a phase, it's a mindset. Now there's one more thing, and this is where most men fail spectacularly. Women don't just want security or comfort or passion, though those matter. What women crave at the deepest level is inspiration. They want to be with someone who doesn't just occupy space in their life, but who elevates it. Someone who doesn't just love her as she is, but who sees who she could become and challenges her to rise to that vision. Being nice isn't enough. Agreeing with everything she says, never pushing back, creating a frictionless existence. That's not partnership. That's passivity. And passivity is the death of attraction. Women don't fall in love with doormats. They fall in love with men who stand for something. Men who have their own moral compass. Men who aren't afraid to call forth her highest potential, even when it's uncomfortable. The women who are most fiercely loyal, most passionately devoted, are not those who were simply pampered and placated. They're the ones who were challenged by their men, pushed to face their fears, develop their strengths, confront their weaknesses. When a man looks at a woman and says through his actions, "I know you're capable of greatness, and I won't let you settle for less," that kind of belief is intoxicating. It creates a bond that superficial affection can't touch. But you can't inspire her to grow if you're not growing yourself. You can't push her to face hard truths if you're avoiding your own. Personal development isn't selfish. It's the most generous thing you can do for your relationships. When she sees you pushing your limits, confronting your fears, taking responsibility for your life, she'll naturally want to rise to meet that standard. Finally, women don't respond to what you say. They respond to what you believe about yourself. Deep, unshakable certainty is magnetic, not because it demands attention, but because it naturally draws it. The most compelling people you've ever met, what made them different wasn't their looks or wealth, it was their conviction. They carried themselves with a quiet assurance that said, "I know who I am, and nothing can shake that." The needy man is always looking to her for validation. The certain man knows his own worth, and that knowing changes everything. Certainty isn't the same as arrogance. It's not about being stubborn or inflexible. It's about having a core so solid that external circumstances don't dictate your self-worth. The certain man can be wrong and admit it. He can change his mind. That's real strength. Certainty is earned, not faked. You can't simply act certain. You have to become certain. And that only happens through achievement, through overcoming challenges, through developing real competence in the world. So start by getting ruthlessly honest about where you're seeking validation, where you're acting from fear rather than conviction. Then build real evidence for your confidence, take on challenges, develop mastery, push your limits. The most attractive thing you can offer a woman isn't your attention, your resources, or even your affection. It's your certainty. Not certainty that she'll choose you, but certainty that you'll be fine either way. Cultivate that, and you won't need to chase. You'll be the one worth chasing.